so let's continue practicing derivatives. And again, I recommend that, again, you see the rules here, that you could pause the video and try the three here. I'm going to go rather quickly because this is practice, and I'll go through why I do things. I would not do the quotient rule on r of x here. All right, I see square root of 10 as a constant, so I don't have to do the product rule either. I would bring up x to the 7th since it's a single term. I can do this, and then I can apply the blue rule over here. And then my derivative on that one is simply r prime of x equals negative 7 times square root of 10. I got a dead spot on my board. We'll just change to black. Negative 7 square root of 10. X. Now, here's where students often make a mistake. Minus 1 on this. Negative 8. All right. Power goes to negative 8. On the next one, the red function, I'm going to rewrite this in fractional exponent form first. So f of t equals, I think that's t to the half, minus 1 times t to the negative half, so I just make it negative half. And now taking the derivative again, it's as fast as we can do the power rule, bring it down, 1 half, t, 1 half minus 1 is negative half. Negative half times negative 1, here's a negative 1 here, so it's plus half, t to the negative 3 halves. And that's the derivative of f of t. And the last one here, y equals x to the 4th. Again, first step would be to write this in fractional exponent form. Makes you happy for algebra. And we take the derivative, now write as y prime, bring down the power, 1/4. X reduced 1/4 by a whole number of 1, which is negative 3/4. 1/4 minus 1. And again, this could look like this. I mean, we don't want to forget that this could look like that if we went back to radical form. So we got to keep that in mind as we progress. 3 more. Then again, I put the rules at the top. Now, g of u up here is kind of a tricky one. The first thing I see, and I want to make sure you see it, so I'm going to break it out. I have u to the 1 plus, and I'll break this apart using my radical rules. And I have u to the square root of 2 square root of u, which I'll write this as u to the 1 half. Square root of 3 square root of 2 are just constants, so I'm not going to worry about them. Don't need the product rule. I can do the derivative now in red of this one. Square root of 3 times 1 is just square root of 3. 1 minus 1 is u to the 0, which is 1. Plus 1 half times the square root of 2. Well, I think that's square root of 2 over 2. And then I take u and take away 1, minus half. Now, v of x and the next one, y. When I look at these, my first instinct might think it's product rule, but we haven't really done that in the video. So the first thing I do in this case, I can easily expand this out. I get x cubed minus 3x squared plus x squared minus 3x. And again, in the middle, I love eraser boards because negative 3x squared plus x squared is negative 2x squared. And now this is a very simple problem. Take the derivative of it. I'll do it in red again. So I'll get 3x squared minus 4x minus 3. Likewise, on the last one, my first step is to think of it this way. And then distribute it and think of it. And again, remember, if this is confusing, if this is algebra, this is not calculus to this point. This is like saying 1 plus a half and x, we're just distributing. Now I'm going to do the derivative, and it's simply 3 halves x to the half, 3 halves minus 1, minus 1 half x to the negative half. And again, I don't talk enough about this usually in my class, not many professors do. You got to be sure we recognize this in radical form, and recognize that sometimes, especially on the AP, it's a horrible way to look at it, but I suppose, I don't like that it has the radical in the basement, but it could be any of these. Again, taking derivatives, keep on practicing. These are just some more difficult ones that are not the product rule or the quotient rule yet. That'll be up next.